you know, we could
Okay.
do that, and
Yeah,
then the family they could.
thank
All
you.
right, let's new shout out to New Diamonds. New Diamond says, if this is the finale, what do you think will happen next?
Oh,
Woo.
well, I know that we're going through. Remember, my concept is we're going through a pole shift, a world war, and also another. I don't want to say the word because we're on Rich's channel. I want to be respectful. There's another da 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 dum
Yeah.
coming. So, that being said, you got to keep your health up. It's important for you to do that because it looks like they're going to put everything in the goulash at one time. They're going to try
Mm.
to confuse you. They're going to try to lock everybody up, lock everybody down. I see within the next couple of weeks, and most likely will go into martial law, because with this election, there's a lot of shenanigans going on, a lot of demonization of certain bloodlines purposefully. They're demonizing the Haitian bloodline and the Venezuelan bloodline. And I was talking to a C-star today, and I was saying the strongest bloodlines they're demonizing. They're
Mm.
characterizing them as savages, and this is a very beautiful bloodline who has a lot of magic inside of them. So it makes me think that they're doing it so that you perceive them as enemies so that you aren't able to ever access certain information that they would be able to give you.
What bloodline is this that has a lot of
This
men?
is the Haitian bloodline, which they're saying they
Oh,
yeah,
Trump said that
yeah,
they
they eat
were
cats and dogs.
eating cats and yeah.
Anybody from Haiti, ça passe. Anybody from Haiti, that's untrue. Haitians have dogs and animals. There's a lot of rituals that do happen within voodoo, but it does not to characterize a people. Why aren't you saying the Chinese people eat cats and dogs, which is very documented? Why are
Yeah.
you saying that? There's more Chinese people that came over the border, Chinois, than any other group. So why would you designate that? It's because they want to characterize certain blood types for certain bloodlines. Like you said, there's certain bloodlines who have certain information and certain keys that they're supposed to give you. But if you demonize them, you make them seem ooky spooky, no one's gonna come in and come around those people.
Mm. Very interesting, family. Let's get to this next question. This is an interesting one. Is there a guardian like a dragon guarding a certain level of knowledge?
Absolutely, absolutely. There are different types of energetic beings, deities, animals that represent and guard certain layers and densities. The dragon is one of the most ancient. Some of you have a connection to the dragons, just like the lion beings. They like the lions guard the gates. They're the guardians of the gates. So you can't
Right.
jump through the stargates because the Lyrians are guarding them. But same with dragons. Dragons guard really important, pertinent information. They guard a lot of ancient relics. So if you feel connected to it, it's probably because you have a connection to the dragon, or you may have an imprint of that dragon on you, because there are people who are mixed with the dragon beings. Outside of this firmament, not everybody looks like a humanoid. Others look like cats, people look like reptoids, and some people even look like dragons.
What did you look like when you seen yourself in the cryo state? What
I
did you
look
look
like
like?
I look more like, and this is why I say what's interesting. I come here in this avatar really buxom, kind of thick, but there I could look really fit, almost militant. I
Hmm.
look the same, but just more like a militant, more Asiatic looking with melanation, but more fit, like just like a soldier, like someone who's more of a soldier. Yeah. So it makes sense why I would choose this avatar to make myself feel more, feminine or more, that's why I say some people pick avatars of deficiencies that they feel over there. It's not deficiencies. They want to play with an avatar that's different or something they always wanted to be.
So there's something that's going on now where our avatar goes on the computer, goes on an AI app, and the AI app creates an avatar of our avatar. And it's like this majestic, royal looking app. Do you
Wow.
think that avatar is more um representative of who we look like? And
Somehow, yeah. The AI knows who you are because we're in a
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, yeah.
yeah. So the AI, that's why when AI did that whole, remember the AI, it was like the Gemini thing, and it gave all the kings and stuff as melanated, and a lot of lunars got upset, a lot of white people got upset
Right.
because it was the truth. So the AI doesn't lie. It doesn't have a reason to lie. It's going to give the chronological proof and facts. So if it's showing you as that, it's because you were that or you are that, either outside the firmament or in past lives, past incarnations.
Hmm.
It knows it can access all of your avatars from all times inside and outside the firmament.
Wow.
It's a database.
Right.
They,
Right. Why did you say you said a little while ago that the Lyrians control the Stargates? Why is that? Out of all the groups, why do
they
the
just that's their role. They guard the gates. That's why in the movie The Matrix, when Neo saw the cat, um Morpheus asked, did you see it? Was there something strange about it? because and it's referencing that, and like in Doctor Who, I don't know if anybody watches Doctor Who, you see the cats, the Lyrians are always controlling the gates. It's even in I think Thor, there was a representation of the gold being, he looked very cat like. The cats guard the gates, even in the houses, like you go to the very bougie houses, you always see the lions in front of the houses. They're the guardians of the gates.
Right, right. Wow. All right, all right. Let's get to hmm. Let's get to another question. Let's see. She already answered the question about NPC. That means non-playable characters for anybody who came in late. But I'm trying to see Jewel
And you,
Pulcrum. That's the name, Jewel Pulcrum.
yeah, Dr. Joe.
Yeah. What you was about to say?
Oh no, I just confirmed. Yeah, I just mentioned her name. That's all.
Okay. Yeah, another super chat question. I woke up on a table on a spaceship. Telepathically, I was being healed while lying on a metallic table. I was told I was Arcturian. Was I getting upgraded? Was that a wake up from the simulation? Okay.
Yes, yes. I personally think that is a testimony of you perceiving yourself. Sometimes you don't wake up, others have woken up on the table. Yes. Sometimes if you're having a hard time here, your body there is affected, just like in the Matrix movie. You know, if Neo got hit and he perceived himself getting hit by something, his body in the avatar would react to the physical hit in the dream, you know, in the simulation. So a lot of times if you're going through something here physically, you may have some health things that they need to fix or twerk a little bit, like, tinker with a little bit. So I actually think that you perceived yourself as you are. Yeah.
Mm. You know what bothers me sometimes? When I was young, my dreams was, I mean, like I dream a lot, like a whole
Yeah.
lot. Like, to this day, like I could have 6 dreams in one night. That's like a regular night. I dream a lot. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. Like my girl, she's pregnant now and she dreams a lot.
Oh, I love it.
And
She gets a lot of dreams. It's the best dream when you're pregnant.
yeah, and I'm like, baby, I know how you feel because I dream. I have like 5 dreams a night, so I know exactly
But
what you're talking about.
yeah, she's connected to the baby, so she's pulling in the baby's dreams too. That's why she has double the dreams. Yeah,
Interesting.
I love it.
What I was gonna say was when I was young, my dreams was popping so much in terms of like these cosmic dreams and cosmic remembrances, and I used to dream about cosmic wars and star systems, all types of stuff.
Beautiful,
I
beautiful.
don't have them dreams anymore.
Well, as you get further away from 0 point where you began, it
Yeah,
starts to fade away. It's kind of like temporal aphasia. It's like you have a kind of amnesia as you get further away from your
yeah,
starting point. So it's you can reactivate that by doing childlike things, like doing things that you did as a child. I don't know if you like to go skateboarding or go do, go out in nature and be free. The more free you are, the more childlike you are, you can reactivate that child state in you.
mm, okay, okay.
Like your son can help you with that too. Just like play Tonka trucks with him. Like, yeah, I'm gonna be the big truck. You will activate those dreams in you when you tap into the child's part of you.
Right. Interesting. Okay. Yo, family, this show, man, Jesus, this is we almost got 3,000 people. Shout out to the family. Share this before we get out of here so we can hit that 3,000 mark. This is what's up. It's a Wednesday night on 9/11. We talking about Avatar Bloodlines on 9/11, and we
Oh my
got
God.
3,000 people casually on a Wednesday night. That's what's up.
They're
I
here for
like
the
that.
finale, Rich. This is what it is. They know what it is. They're like, yeah, let's get the data.
They
Let's
do.
upgrade ourselves and let's
Uh-huh.
let's do this. Yeah.
Oh man, beautiful. This is beautiful. Okay, let's keep this thing going. I'm gonna do about 5 more questions, y'all. Then we're gonna all right. Okay, somebody says, are the Caribbean and South America direct connected to Lyra or Lyra?
Lyra.
Yeah. It-
Um, I wouldn't say so. I don't know. I don't know actually. I don't know. Africa has a strong connection, parts of Africa and parts of America, like North America, like within the Carolinas, Virginia, the South has Georgia. Georgia has a big Lyrian. Like even after we did the last show, all the Lyrians showed up, and a lot of them were in Georgia. I was like,
mm,
God darn it! There's like a Stargate there. Remember,
mm.
you've got Malachi Z. York who had that whole thing because Georgia, Atlanta's on the 33rd.
Right,
So
right.
you got to think it's on that ley line, that longitude, latitude. That means there's a Stargate over there. That means there's a reason why they messed with his compound. That makes sense that they would do that on the 33rd, and that a lot of Lyrians are presented on that ley line.
You ever been to Stone Mountain?
No, I was supposed to go. I want to go. No, I haven't gone. I've been to Georgia. I haven't been to Stone Mountain. No, no.
Great experience. Great experience. Somebody wants to know: are our ancestors awake on the other side?
They're awake in you. You are your ancestors. There's no differentiation between you and them. Everything, all your cellular components, everything inside of you is them. They exist in all planes of it. Like if they transcended, they're in different planes of densities and dimensions, yes, but they're inside of you. If you want to tap into an ancestor, start doing the things they did, and then you'll start tapping into that cellular memory, which will reenact and activate them within inside of you. You have everything that they are. Every memory, every cell, everything. Your great grandfather, if he liked fishing, he liked being on boats, he could read plans. Like you have that in you. You can tap into it.
Okay. Is it possible to come across clues here that indicate where you come from?
Yes, yes. It comes up all the time. You literally, yeah, you'll get triggers. As soon as you clear out your system and empty cedars and forever loopers, you got to get them out of, because they're meant to distract you. If you have people with that kind of energetic field, they're going to constantly put distraction, and they mess with your mind, because a lot of times they can mess with, they have forms of like subatomic telepathy. So you got to be careful having people like that around, because they keep you in like a beta state. Like they keep you kind of like zoned out. If you get rid of some of the baggage in your life, clear out food, people, things, sex, drugs, alcohol, you will find that you'll be able to get these clues, and they're all over the place. As soon as you become aware, like sometimes even when you fast, like 48 hours, something will pop up on your phone, because it'll use whatever apparatus that you use to throw clues at you, and it'll show up, or something will be delivered to your door, or somebody will just say a trigger word and a memory will just pop in your head.
Okay. They want to know: have you ever had a near-death experience?
Yes, yes.
Wow.
The one time that I did is when I was in the hospital. I had a high fever, like 109, almost 109. It was high. And they were trying to get the fever down. And all I kept seeing when the nurses were coming in is their faces melting, and different faces. Like it was a quickening. Face would melt, another face would show up. Another face would melt, another face would show up. I was seeing like their incarnations as their face melting and another face presenting, like back to back to back. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Family, please try to, if you're asking a question, try to be as grammatically correct as possible, because I'm breezing through the questions to pick one. And if the question don't make sense, I won't pick it. I'm gonna pick a question that is easy for everybody to understand. So try to be as grammatically correct as possible. Now with just this show, with in future shows as well. Let me get to the next question. Who runs this simulation?
Well, it's an AI. It's a sentient AI. There's people that are the architects here. You like to call them sometimes the architects used to be called what they called. They used to be called something. There's architects that are under, but the AI system, every simulation is ran by a particular sentient AI. It has access to all the dimensional fields. So it's one AI system. So as we get closer to exit, you're going to start to see more robotoids, more AI imprints, because we're getting closer to the exit. What you perceive to be the future is actually us going backwards into the past.
What Fleur, what do you think this, the simulation and we talked about how it tries to trick you sometime. What do you think it thinks about when a character like Jesus pops up, or Buddha, or Malcolm X, or what do these represent to the simulation? And like, could you go into that a little bit?
These are just character imprints, they represent probably bleed overs from other characters in previous incarnations, like Zeus, or like one of the Anunnakis, or these different entities that have that energy on them. So when they get incarnated into another, and I personally don't think they're real. I actually think they're characters within the construct of the simulation.
What, they're NPCs?
Well, yeah, they're NPCs, but they're characters. They're major characters. So like Zeus will show up again in another simulation after reset as Jesus, or he'll show up in another one as Moses. You know what I mean? So they show up as different things, but they're all the same. You know what I mean? They'll just have different names.
Uh,
That's like zeitgeist. If anyone wants to kind of understand what I'm talking about, you got to watch. I used to reference this like 20 years ago. Watch zeitgeist. Zeitgeist kind of talks in everything is just basically numerically doubled, and everything's under a cylindrical pattern. So Jesus, Muhammad, Buddha, they're all the same character, just different names, and they're utilized as new references to change the apparatus of the game to make it seem like it's new and it's all the same.
okay, okay. Let's keep this thing moving, y'all. This thing is good. All right. They want to know what's happening with the Grand Canyon. I bought land in the mountains near there. Why am I drawn to it? Are those pyramids being activated? Can't be hidden anymore.
Absolutely, you might have a genetic connection to the beings there. The genetic, remember, I perceive that this is Africa. I actually think that we're living in ancient Egypt right now. That's why we're 0 point. The most consciousness exists in the United States, and the best and the baddest of the game are here. We're born here, we're bred here in the Americas. I think you're connected to the Grand Canyon because you feel connected to that lineage. You might have some genetic connection to the actual beings that live there. I think you should go there, sit there, fast, and connect to your cellular memories to see if you have any visuals that show up for you.
Is this why when you talk about the the Americas and this being ancient Egypt, and definitely want to get into that, and the best being coming to this land, is that why the Black Americans and Americans dominated the Olympics?
Absolutely. You already know those are the Olympians. Yes,
Uh-huh.
those are the ones. The best and the baddest are here. These are all the Olympians are here. Those are the gods that exist here genetically. Everything that comes to consciousness, majority is coming from the United States, from the Americas, either Brazil, either United States, all the Caribbean. That's all the Americas. If you notice, they dominated. That means that is that imprint from the beings that coexisted here, who have the highest frequency, the highest algorithm, and also the widest bandwidth.
Mm, very, very interesting. So, all right, tell me about, because I like hearing different, because this is a popular topic on the internet,
Yeah.
and I like hearing different perspectives on America is ancient Egypt. I want to hear, what do you mean when you say America? When we think about ancient Egypt, or when we think about antiquity, we're really talking about America. How do you explain that?
I mean, they flipped everything. When we talk about the pole shifts,
Mm,
remember when we were Pangea, we were one landmass according to
right.
the ancient references, and then we kind of split apart. There were several different geographical, major events that basically tore land masses apart and kind of created new people on each of the new latitude longitudes. Um, Remember, America has the most pyramids per capita
Mm-hmm.
over Egypt. Egypt just has one. Even in Africa, Egypt has a fraction of the pyramids, and all of the most advanced and technologically activated pyramids existed in the Americas, as in the heart of North America, so to speak. Even when you go into Central America, you see all of the Mayan pyramids, all of these wonderful temples that existed. If that was the precipice of where all civilization began, how come everything is here and it's not over there? Like, how
Right.
come we wouldn't have more in that region and we have more here? Why wouldn't you see more consciousness in Egypt than you see here? Why is there a form of behavior that is not reminiscent of higher consciousness and higher awareness? You would see that around a place that has pyramids that are activated pyramids and pinnacle vortex points
Uh-huh.
actually birth conscious game players, conscious
Mm,
beings.
wow. Oh, wow. Let's get to this next question. Can you provide some specific tips to prepare spiritually, physically, and mentally for the next few months in 2025?
Absolutely. Clear your space, clear your data, clear people out that aren't that aren't and when I say clear, I be respectful. I also say, everyone has their journey, but
Yeah.
you want to clear space so to allow for yourself to be upgraded. I would say, I would suggest, it's just my, I love fasting. I'm a thickums, but part of that is fasting it gives you clarity. It allows for you to have better discernment. And it also gratifies an aspect that gives you more game pieces or passes when you gain more self leveling, like mass self mastery. If you aren't able to control yourself sexually with alcohol, with drugs, you aren't leveled up enough. Fasting helps that. Also start to acknowledge things about yourself, any idiosyncrasies that need to be dealt with. Going further in the game, especially we're at the finale, it's going to get more intense. If you thought 2020 was everything, it's going to be times 10. Okay, this is Earth Simulation 10. You got to be the best of what you are, and you have to have the most clarity. Your health has to be up, and you have to have self-awareness. If those are things that you aren't able to accrue, you're going to have a very tough time for the next 6 months.
Wow. Okay, let's two more questions, and I promise we that this is just so good. I had to keep going. This is just too good. Okay, somebody wants to know who dropped the 2 nuclear bombs on Mars' atmosphere.
Which Mars? The one that bleeds over into our stratosphere, or the Mars that exists outside of the firmament?
Well, let's start with the one that bleeds into our stratosphere.
Well, bombs, it's most likely the lifetime loopers. They are always trying to get out of the simulation. They can't get out. They can't qualify to get out. They're maniacs and sociopaths. They've been here too long. So I would perceive like the Jesuits, we call them other names, the Deros, these lifetime loopers most likely were trying to get out, and they ended up bombing inside of the firmament. The Mars, which is, anyone who's been to Sedona, you would understand and understand it's like going into Mars. Like literally, it's like a dimensional bleed over into another realm. As soon as you get into Sedona, the red rocks give you memories, and you start activating, aspects of Mars outside the firmament. So I personally think it's the Jesuits, these characters that are playing, the wealthy, the rich, the most powerful in this realm. I think they were trying to get out. They've been trying to get out of the firmament because they haven't the ability to accrue the social, spiritual aspect that is required for one to get out. So they're trying to find other means to get out, and that includes bombing certain areas to maybe activate or to try to pry open a portal. That's what I think.
Okay. All right. Somebody says, question, when you're born and on top of the baby head clothes, mine still has a dent and very sensitive.
Ooh, that's your etheric. That's your etheric. Your string that goes up. Babies usually it stays open for a little bit, and if you're really, Rich, I want you to see this when your little one comes.
Yeah.
If you train your eye, because I saw it with my children, you can see it almost looks like a see-through a line, like a see-through, like a string. You can see it right above.
Wow.
Where's it close? It could just mean that you might have access to other densities and dimensions. You might be someone who time travels, like travels through the densities. The fact that this is enclosed makes me think you go in and out of it, like you pop in and out of different dimensions with this. So you might be very psychic, very kinetically charged. You might have dreams of flying a lot. So if you have that sensitivity, it just means that you might have access to some of your abilities here that are more activated than others.
Wow. Oh man. Okay. Let's oh man, what a show, right, family? This is wow. Let's see. Let's see. I'm trying to get one. Okay, how can someone become a part of the Galactic Federation?
Well, that's CAP. The Galactic Federation is a psyop, in my opinion. That is something that is perpetuated and brought up so that you can connect to something that's false, so that you won't be able to perceive something that's real.
Wow. Okay. All right. With that being said, listen. I mean, what a show. I mean, Fleur, Brun, this is wow. This is an instant classic here tonight. You went ham. You went ham tonight. You went. This is a classic one right here. So to close out the show, any information you want to tell the family, anything you got coming up, any websites, your YouTube, anything you want to let them know.
Join us every Sunday and Thursday. Me and my sea stars, my zombies. We're breaking the codes. We're preparing. We're in our preparedness mode. We're working up our skill set. So you can join us on Patreon. It's on Fleur Patreon. You can join us, and we're on like 72-hour Zooms. We about that life.
Yeah,
you bowdy, like we're up, pajamas, everything. Working the tools, getting all the pieces of the puzzle together. That's how I found out that there wasn't as much sun going through the actual. Big up to Delmarche. We found out there wasn't enough sun coming through the actual solar panels. That's how we knew the sun simulator. There's been something placed over it to disallow for as much of that sun frequency, even with the old simulation that we used to get.
Yeah, I seen the video on Instagram with the I think the sunflowers.
They're facing away.
They're
Yeah.
facing away and they usually face toward the sun. What they say?
Absolutely. Yeah, because it's
Yeah.
not there anymore. And I always say challenge you. Don't believe anything we say. You always look up and you're very vigilant. Go and look at the eclipse and you're going to see that the eclipse wasn't even in alignment. One moon was here and the sun was there. It never crossed. And if you looked in the sky, if you didn't put those freaky deaky glasses on, you would have seen it. Okay, and you also would have seen them putting something like a filter over it. And then I would also challenge you to watch the movie the body snatchers, because that same shape that they were saying was going to be the shape of the eclipse in the beginning of the body snatchers, there's one scene, and I don't know how I found it. I was just telling people to watch it, and it's called the Aleph. You'll see the scene at the beginning where the spores are coming and they show it zooming down to earth, and you will see the actual shape that they said the eclipse would make during this last 2024 eclipse. So this is all geoengineered. You understand this is a game, it's a simulation. Let's be the best that you want to be. Level up. Don't make excuses. Let's get it on. 6 months.
Most requested speakers that people tell me about to get on the show. I mean, people inbox me on Instagram. They hit up my email. They've been telling me about you for about a year, and I've been watching your videos off and on. And I said, you know what? It's time to get. You've been consistent. The main thing, sometimes people come and they go. They'll come today and be going 6 months later. But I seen you've been consistent doing what you do, so I definitely commend you for your work. And yeah, it's time. So, like I said, to start out with, you're here on this day that they call in 666, June 6th, and 2022. That's the last six. So, what's to start out with? Is there anything significance that you know of this particular day?
I heard some things, but I haven't picked up any energy in terms of anything being significant. I haven't heard anything because it was actually 4 sixes, isn't it? 2022, so that's 246. So it's actually 4 sixes instead of 3. So I haven't picked up any energy off of that. There were some people that hit me and said, "Oh, the deep state's plan to do this and that." I didn't pick up any energy off of it. I had an excellent day today, so I haven't heard anything in terms of that. I picked up anything.
Indeed. So when I watch your show, you deal a lot with the galaxy and things going on in the skies and transmissions that you get. So the name of the show is Galactic Starseed Transmissions. To start out with, is everybody a starseed? And if everybody's not, how do you know that you're a starseed, my sister?
Oh, that's a good question. How do you know that you're a starseed? Well, let me just start with my indigenous people first. Okay. A lot of us, when I say to you that you got to give reverence to your ancestors, a lot of times people think that we're only talking about just the paternal and the maternal ancestors. But as you begin to start tracing back those lines, they go all the way back to extraterrestrials, quote unquote extraterrestrials. Okay. I do cosmic readings. And so I can look into a person and tell a person what star system that they come from. A lot of times people don't realize that they actually have those types of cosmic ancestors that are councils, okay, or courts. And so I will actually have those courts activate, and I'll tell that person, call down this particular court because you're an ancestor of this individual. And then when they call them down, then all of a sudden they're feeling like an energy. And then they start crying. They said, I feel so much love. I said, that's because of who you're tied to. So that information has been hidden from us for a very long time. Okay. Our identity has been stripped away from us. And they work very hard to keep us disconnected because of who we really are and what we're really connected to. Okay. When you look in the mirror, you're an extraterrestrial. You're a star seed. Okay. So star seeds look like you and I. Okay. And there's also people that don't necessarily have the same skin complexion of us that are also star seeds. They come in, for various different reasons, either because of karma, different missions that they have to go on, or they may have different soul contracts, things like that. So they may incarnate to look different from us. And so when I go in and I look into them, I'll look at their Akashic record and I'll see what's going on with them. And I'm able to actually see who and what they really are. So even though you might think that you have this physical body does not define who you are. Okay. It's the spirit that lives within you. It's the soul that lives within you that determines who you really are. Okay. And so there's also certain types of initiations that one must go through to access certain areas in the Akashic records. And most people don't know anything about this. they have what you call no access, unless that individual themselves, because of how high up they are in the cosmos, they can only access those records. So a regular person wouldn't be able to access those particular type of records. Let's say if they're a Lunakai. Okay, Lunakai are the original gods that Source created. So these are the first original gods that were created. These Lunakai has the ability to incarnate into something else whenever they choose to. Or they might say, okay, I want to do a contract to go to a different part of the galaxy, wherever that is, to complete a particular mission. And they have to fill out that mission. So for example, there's people that's been on this planet for probably since the beginning of the planet being created.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know this.
Mm-hmm.
They don't know what their mission is because they were never told what the mission was. Okay. Or that information may have been hidden, or that information may have been destroyed due to manipulation over a period of time. Information has been hidden, information has been taken away, things like that. So that's pretty much it.
So what's one of the main transmissions? There's so much talk since 2020, when they said that's the year of the perfect vision. What's the main transmission that you're getting now, as far as what's happening in the world when we see all the craziness, but we see a lot of opportunity as well happening at the same time?
Well, I first want to make sure that people understand that Planet Kai and Gaia is making changes to this planet.
You're referring to Earth. You're referring to Earth when you say Planet Kai and Gaia.
Yes, I'm referring to Earth. Okay. And let me just say this real quick. Earth was Earth. That name Earth only comes from the Nernians.
And who's that?
The ones that were created on planet Nern.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I'm gonna come back to that in a minute. The reason why they called it Earth is because they wanted to name it something similar to their home planet. Okay. But I want to come back and just say that ask me the question again, because I lost my train of thought.
What's the main transmission you're getting right now in terms of where this planet is headed?
The main transmission that I'm currently getting right now is that we need to start preparing for the great solar flash. That's one. Mm-hmm. Another main transmission that I'm getting is that the timelines are merging. And so right now I asked a question on all my social media pages and asked everyone, hey guys, are you having problems remembering things? Or do you find yourself losing your memories, your short-term memories, things like that? And I got a hell of a lot of responses off of that. And so I'm explaining to people, I told my people on Telegram this a while back, probably about 2 months ago, that we're going to start experiencing this. We're also going to start experiencing losing time, because there is a frequency on this planet right now that is destroying the spell of time right now, even as we speak. So we've already lost 2 hours of time 2 months ago. Now we're losing 30 minutes of time a day. So for instance, there are people out here, like I do it myself. I'm jumping days ahead. I might be a day or two ahead where I'm like, what day is it? And they're like, fam, it's like Wednesday. I said, oh, damn, I thought it was Friday. Have you been doing that?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Because what's happening is that the timelines are merging. And so with the timelines merging, you're going to start losing your memories. And it's going to come to a point where you won't have any memories at all of the 3D realm at all, because you are now prepping. Ra, the sun god, or the sun, is currently giving all of us DNA activations, upgrades. People might be feeling body aches and pains, headaches. Their appetites are changing. They don't feel the need to eat meat anymore. You just kind of see them like getting into maybe consuming more fruits, drinking H3O waters that are extracted from fruits. They're getting lighter. Their powers are coming on. They're starting to have visions. They're starting to have dreams, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Now, I do want to put something out there and let everyone know, for those who do not know, we are currently in a cosmic war right now, even as we speak. And I tell people, so above, so below. So the things that are going on here are the things that are going on up there right now. Okay. This cosmic war is the beginning of the Armageddon. This cosmic war is starting inside the dream state in the astral realm. Some of you guys might be feeling pain when you wake up out of your sleep. And that's because you've been battling. Some of you guys are constantly aware of when you're actually dreaming and you see yourself fighting. That is a very real thing that's happening right now. Now, for those who participated in the activities of 2020 and 2021, and I'm not going to go into detail, I'm talking in code, so you guys are going to have to pick up on what I'm saying. For those who are participated in those activities in 2020, beginning in 2020, 2021, up to 2022. Those individuals are candidates for transhumanism. But at the same time, they're also being utilized as portals for the malevolent forces to start entering through their body. Okay. And this is a real thing. This is really happening. I just dealt with a case yesterday where we had a situation of somebody that was actually being invaded by an actual Anunnaki, and they were trying to take possession of that individual. So this is a very real thing that's really happening. Okay. This is not a joke. This is not the time for people to be out here playing around. This is none of that. Okay. And what's happening is none of these beings can get off this planet. So because they can't get off the planet, they're causing hell on the planet. So I need my people to really understand what's happening and what's going on. What's going on right now is that children, there are lots of parents that are telling me that their children are freaking out, saying that they're seeing monsters and things like that. Those monsters that they're seeing are called archons. Okay. The archons are looking for certain key codes inside our bodies. Those key codes are the key codes that have the ability to get off planet Kai. They're trying to leave because they know that solar flash is coming. If you pay attention, the planet is getting hotter. They just put out 2 articles about how the actual oceans are absorbing a tremendous amount of heat right now. And the planet is going to continue to get hotter and hotter and hotter. And after the great solar flash takes place, we're going to be on this planet at 999 degrees. So those that are supposed to be on this planet will survive that. Their bodies will transform into a translucent body. Some of you guys have been spending time in the sun. You might start to see those sparklings on your skin, things like that. And I've had people report to me telling me that their skin is changing. And there's a lot of things going on that is really revving up the people in terms of their mentality, in terms of the frequencies. People are going crazy out here. If they're operating on a low vibrational frequency, if they didn't do their shadow work, things of that nature, that's happening. And also what's going on is the frequencies on the planet is also driving people to go crazy. So the best bet that we can do is get on the exact same frequency as Kai at this moment, because she is elevating right now. And if you're not matching the same frequency as her, then you are going to have a hard time. If you didn't do your shadow work, you're going to have a hard time. I've been preaching that word shadow work for 3 years now. Right now, we're currently under judgment, and our shadows are currently being judged. There are people that are currently being beamed up on ships while they're sleeping. That is the Galactic Federation. And what they're doing is they're weighing you. They're checking to see, is your heart as light as a feather? And if your heart is not light as a feather, guess what? You don't ascend to 5D. You stay here. Okay.
I said that a couple of shows ago. I said that's the message I got. That's the only thing I'm concerned with is for my heart to be light as a feather. So I definitely got that transmission. You just said so many things that's interesting that I know people got questions of. Questions about who are these beings that can't leave the planet and why can't they leave the planet?
Okay. Planet Kai was invaded by reptilians, grays, Anunnaki. I want my people to understand that the Anunnaki is not who you think they are. Just because they look like you don't mean that they're for you. They are a dark energy race of beings, and they are very malevolent. Let me start there. They're the ones that created the hierarchy systems that you see on this planet. So right now, what's going on in the cosmos is unity consciousness. In other words, there's that whole thing about I'm higher than you because I have this status and I'm better than you and blah, 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 blah. That's not happening in the cosmos anymore. That's over with. Source is pushing for unity consciousness, which is some of the things I'm going to be teaching now, the Tablets of Light. That Thoth wrote Thoth's book is called The Tablets of Light. I'm going to start teaching now that about unity consciousness. So those hierarchy systems were created when they came and invaded. They knew how powerful we were. So what they did was they came and they cut down the crystal trees, which is tied to our memories of who we are. Okay, this is how we lost our memories. This is part of how we lost our memories. Another part of how we lost our memories is when we had a great solar flash the first time, and we lost all of our memories because we were very arrogant. We were doing business, and we were also leaking out information to beings that had no business having access to that information. And those particular beings took that information, created certain technologies, and then started working against us. When we lost our memories, that's when all hell broke loose for us, when we lost all of our memories. But the main thing that hurt us is when they cut down those crystal trees. And we had very large crystal trees all over the planet that we could connect to. Now, they made a mockery of us in Avatar. If you go back and you watch the movie Avatar, James Cameron, if you go and you look at how they said that we were invaded, they showed who invaded us. They showed that they were looking for some type of mineral. But if you remember the ancestral tree was the crystal trees. So they put the information out there in front of our faces, but we didn't pick up on what they were actually trying to tell us. So those particular beings have been running on this planet for quite some time. They are the same beings who also enter a virus into the matrix itself. And this is the reason why the matrix itself has inverted. So everything that we've been taught is inverted, or it's been taught in reverse. Okay, so this is the reason why there's confusion. And also, we don't know the correct starting points to a lot of these stories that we've been told. We're also missing correct starting points. So for an example, when people start talking about there's only one God, let me explain something to y'all. First of all, let me give you a correct starting point. When Source first created the gods and the goddesses, what Source created first was the first 99 goddesses, which are Lunakai goddesses, the first original. Now, there's more than 99 goddesses, and there's more than 99 Lunakais, but I'm talking about the very first goddesses that Source ever created. Then the first 9 goddesses that Source created is called the Council of 9. The Council of 9 and Source created the first divine masculine, which is Olodumare, okay? Or Father, the Father that everybody prays to. So I'm giving this story to you on the galactic level, and I got to take the religion out of it for most people because this is where they get twisted up. This is where they're getting all confused and all that. The first star system that was created was Sirius X. The first planet that was created was planet Zlanthia. That was the very first planet that was created. So a lot of the beings actually originated from Zlanthia. Lucifer originated from Zlanthia, and she is a female. She's a goddess. Satan, who is actually a god and not an angel, is also from Zlanthia. Okay, so there's a lot of stories that we were told that wasn't accurate, that's been manipulated and changed around and shifted and so forth and so on to make it look like something totally different than what it really is. So just like the Orishas are rulers of certain galaxies and certain planets. They are creator gods. They are the ones who created this entire solar system. Okay, I know you heard the Orisha before, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So they're not just earth-based deities. These are creator gods that have created entire solar systems and galaxies. Okay. And so Jesus, quote unquote, that everybody talks about, that ain't his name. That's number one. Number two, he came from the Orion star system. Number three, he is the son of Olodumare. But when he came to the planet to teach the people about their powers and how to activate them. During that time period, we thought that we could even have any communication with Father. We thought that we could never talk to him because remember, we're told, oh, you're not worth anything, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. You got to have an intercessor in order to be able to get there to talk to such and such, such and such. You're not this, you're not that. That's what we were taught, right? But it's not true. A lot of us know that we are children, quote unquote, of the Most High because the Most High are the ones who created the angelics. There's a lot of angelics that look like you and I. You have earth angels, okay? And then you have the galactic ones that everybody knows about, like Michael and, Uriel and Zedekiel and all those other ones. We know about the top 16 archangels, right? But we weren't told that in these physical forms that we also came down here on planet Kai to complete a soul mission. And that a lot of us are angelics. Not all of us, but there's quite a few of the indigenous people that are angelics. It's a very real thing. Okay. So when they say I'm a child of the Most High, it's like we had that in our DNA and in our memories. We know something innately about that. We just don't know the correct storyline to figure that out. We needed someone to say, okay, I need someone to come and tell me the other side of the story. So what I do is I tell you the story behind the veil. I'm going to say, okay, we're going to look at this front page story here. Yeah, that's what they said. But let me give you the other side of the veil that they didn't tell you. Or let me give you the part of the other. Let me give you the piece of the other puzzle they never told you anything about. Okay. So Jesus was never supposed to be worshipped. He works with the angelics. A lot of the angelics actually work with him. He is a known ascended master in the cosmos. So we were never supposed to worship him. We were never supposed to worship anything outside of ourselves. That was never supposed to happen. We were never supposed to externalize our power. That's how we became weak. We had our own power, and we still do. We just don't remember who we are. Our memories, we don't remember. Now, for those who came here on a soul mission, the majority of those individuals came in as what you call a soul walk-in. I don't know if you ever heard the term soul walk-in, but these are individuals that came in. Let's say I'm a soul, like I am a soul walk-in. I came in at the age of 7. That's the way I wanted to come in. I did not want to come in being born through a womb and all that. I didn't want to deal with that. So I came in at the age of 7. Talked to that spirit that was in the body that did a negotiation with that spirit and decided to take over so I can get on my mission and do what it is I'm supposed to do. Okay. This is a very real thing that's happening right now for a lot of us. So what I'm here to do is I'm here to activate that knowledge and that consciousness. I'm here to I'm here to activate that subconscious mind within you to help you remember who you are and where you come from, and help you get back to who you're supposed to be, help you get back to your mission. So I will pull down your soul contract and look at your soul mission and say, okay, this is what it is. This is the reason why you came here. Your job is to do this, and this. So then once I help those individuals get on that path and they're coming through my program, once I help those individuals get on their path, things start changing for them for the better. All the way across the board. There isn't any more struggling. There isn't any more poverty. There isn't any more lack. There isn't any more of that going on. This information was in the mystery schools of Egypt before they went and took everything and hid everything at the Vatican. So if anybody wants to know this information, the simplest way for you to get access to this information is that you got to go within. So someone says, well, Isis, how do I go within to get this information? You got to meditate. Because you have certain portals within your body. You have certain galaxies. You have galaxies in your body. You have planets and universes within your body. And if you want to go to the cosmos, you got to go within. You don't go to the cosmos by getting on a ship and traveling out. You already have a ship. It's called a Merkaba. You go into your meditation. Some people can access their own Stargate, and they can get in their Merkaba, and they can go through that Stargate to go whatever star system that they want to. But this information wasn't revealed. So I'm one of those people that's coming out now, especially to let the indigenous know it's time for you guys to get the hell up, to wake the hell up, because we don't have a whole lot of time. Time has actually ran out for us. We need to be on mission right now.
Is there any example? You talked about the movie Avatar and the crystal trees that they cut down, and that's how we lost our memory. Is there an example on Planet Kai right now of a crystal tree that was chopped down? There's just a remnant right now?
Yes. Rock of Gibraltar is an actual tree stump. Plain as day, right in front of your face. If you go out to Arizona, go to Sedona. In Sedona, all you guys are going to see is tree stumps from the old world. And I want everybody to understand that the first Egypt that ever existed did not exist overseas as the Egypt that you guys know of today. The first Egypt that ever existed was in the Americas. Okay.
We had in particular
Tennessee. Tennessee. The Mississippi River is actually the Nile River. If you trace the Nile River all the way up to Illinois and you take a look at where the water lands, you'll see that there's ancient Egyptian towns listed all around the waters in Illinois. That's connected to that Mississippi River. And I want people to understand that there are pyramids that are right in front of your face. There's 3 pyramids right at the Grand Canyon that the government has access to that they will not let you get into, that they will not let you enter into. There are pyramids in different areas across the Americas that have all kinds of ancient Egyptian artifacts, all types of technology that actually belong to us. They've taken over that. So anywhere where you see like rainforests, like out in California, and you see that the government has control of certain areas, the reason why they're having control of those certain areas is because they don't want you to get access to you remembering who you are. Some of this technology will actually put you online in a heartbeat. So they don't want you getting access to that. So they've done everything in their power to keep you cut off from access, as long as they keep you externalizing your power, as long as they keep you looking outside of yourself. You'll never figure out that all your answers are already stored within. When you want to get access to this information, it's already locked into your DNA.
Mm-hmm.
All you have to do is start going inward and start communicating with those ancestors of yours. Those galactic ancestors will come forth and they'll begin to start speaking to you. They'll begin to start giving you things to read. They'll begin to start giving you information. They'll begin to start teaching you. They'll begin to start giving you certain upgrades. Your consciousness will begin to expand. That's what happened with me when I started going inward.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the Orisha, because I'm an Ifa priest, this is when I started realizing how cosmic the Orisha were when they gave me the program called the Quantum Karmic Cleanse. I did not realize how galactic they were until that time period when that first happened. And once they gave me the information, I started designing the program. In the process of me designing the program, I took myself through my own program. There are several different types of karma that exist. You have to do the work to clear the karma in this lifetime. But you don't realize that you have many other lifetimes that also have karma. So when I go to look at a person, I'm looking for a particular karma that actually brought them here to planet Kai, because Kai is a school. You're supposed to come here, you're supposed to learn your lessons, and then you're supposed to ascend. The problem is that if you're off path and you don't remember, you keep coming back here. As long as you have karma, you will continue to keep coming back here. So as I'm looking at the different karmic cycles, there are higher aspects that are tied to these karmic cycles that made poor decisions that created karma for them. That is the karma that I can actually go in and clear on the quantum realm. And I go in and I elevate those higher aspects for that individual. When I do that, then I have that person do the shadow work, because once we find out what the themes are about how they got here in the first place, then I have them do the shadow work pertaining to those particular aspects, because those aspects are just them from different time periods of whenever they reincarnated. So it don't matter what star system they're in. You could have been an Arcturian. You could have been a dragon. You could have been an angel. You could have been whatever you were. But once I find out the story of how you got the karma created, then we go in and we start clearing out that karma. Now, in the process of that karma being cleared out, this is when your consciousness begins to start expanding. This is when you're going to start getting communication from higher beings. You might get communication from gods. You might find out in your bloodline that you may have some ties to some different gods and different star systems, and they'll come and communicate and they'll give you that information that you need so you continue to start growing and learning more about yourself and your full totality. What do I mean when I say full totality? The multiverse version of who you are. And depending on who you are, for some, and it may even be the omniverse version of who you are. Okay. So for example, you are Black Magic 363, right? You over here chilling, right? But then you're also like a king over in this star system. And then over here in Sirius, you might be something else in this star system. Okay. So that's what I mean when I say the totality of who you are. All right.
Indeed. What's you mentioned several times in the beginning, this great solar flash that's going to take place.
That is correct.
When is this going to happen, and what exactly is going to go down with this great solar flash?
When they're not telling me the when. What I'm being told is it's coming near. What's going to happen with the great solar flash is that this entire planet is going to burn. I'm just keeping it 100 with you. There's going to be individuals that will have enough upgrades that'll be able to transform if they have the ability to surrender their heart and work out of their heart space. If you're operating in your divine masculine, which is up here, and you're not operating in your divine feminine, which is the heart space, you're not going to make that. You're not going to survive that. What I'm trying to get everybody to understand is that we're headed towards unity consciousness. We're headed in a state of operating out of love. You cannot go to the fifth dimension and go to the new planet Kai, okay, if you're not operating from the heart space. You can't come there with the same issues you got here. That's why you got to do the shadow work, to unpack them bags, and you got to heal. You got to start there. And then you got to start meditating so you can get on your mission and figure out what it is that you got to do. You're not in playtime anymore. And either people are going to do what they have to do to get to where they need to go, or they can play Russian roulette and see what happens with that. But as far as the great solar flash, what's going to happen is the planet is going to, once that solar flash hits and everything is completely wiped out with the exception of those who are supposed to be here, what's going to happen is that the planet's temperature is going to raise up to 999 degrees. And that's how it's going to be on this planet Kai from here on out. It's going to be just like that. Okay. So people will still have the ability to still work out their things while they're here. Some people have to stay here because they have soul contracts where they did bad contracts and past lives, and they have to remain earthbound. Those people are going to have to go through that process. Okay.
You mentioned some I guess a symptom of the heat, the skin sparkling. What did you mean by that? Talk to me about that.
When you're out in the sun, I don't know how much sun people are getting right now. I spend a tremendous amount of time out in the sun. When you start spending time out in the sun, your body actually starts transforming. Ra at this time is giving a lot of people upgrades. Excuse me. At the same time, those who aren't supposed to be here, they're being fried up. Start paying attention to people when you start seeing them wearing hats on their head, shades all the time, big old hats over their heads so the sun don't touch them because they can't handle the frequency. It's not just the heat, but it's also the frequency of that sun because it's activating your DNA. And you're getting a lot of upgrades right now, a lot of DNA upgrades. Some of you guys might start hearing voices. That could be your ancestors. That could be your angelic courts. That could be your other cosmic family that could be communicating to you. And you'll know this based upon the messages that you're receiving, if they're benevolent or not. Okay. Now, I teach my students how to set up their protections, you know, when they come through the program, how to properly set up their protections so they know who to communicate to and who not to communicate with. Okay. I'm just giving you a brief synopsis of this because we're kind of because of the interview. I'm just giving you a brief synopsis of how this works. But that's what's happening. So everybody's getting upgrades right now. You're getting upgrades right now.
Indeed. I feel it all the time. I feel it all the time.
I see it over you, but I can see it over you, and it's funny. I can see you.
Like when you say I can see how do you see it upgrade? Describe that vision, that sight. What do you see as far as upgrade?
For me, when I look at a person and I see an upgrade, I can tell by like the colors that's going on with that person, where those colors are located at, depending on what's going on with them. I can see, like for people who, let's say, are just starting out, I can start seeing them transform in their other bodies. You got to remember, you have 4 bodies. You have the physical body, the celestial body, the ethereal body, and then the astral body. Okay. So when I'm looking at you, I'm not looking at your physical body. I'm looking at the other 3.
Powerful. Powerful. When I hear you, I hear a lot of Delbert Blair. I hear a lot of Delbert Blair.
That's my cosmic dad right there. He influenced me a great deal. He was like, I used to call him dad. Like, that's really our relationship. He was like a dad to me. You know what I'm saying? He mentored me a great many years. So yes, I give a lot of shout outs to Dr. Delbert Blair and Dr. Phil Valentine. That's also my other dad. So I love them both.
Yeah, shout out to Dr. Valentine and rest in power to Dr. Delbert Blair. Let me tell us a quick story that I never told nobody about Delbert Blair. That's the only individual when I interviewed him twice. When I got up close on him, he felt like a hologram. He didn't even feel like a human being. He felt like he wasn't fully here. Like some people are really grounded on earth, like they're really physical. This dude felt like being around him, it was like he wasn't fully there. And I heard people say that before about Michael Jackson, like he was like light, like it was almost like he wasn't there. And I that's the only dude I ever been around where it almost felt like I was looking at a hologram, like the Tupac hologram on stage or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, Delbert Blair was tapped in.
He's actually in the upper realms. Is currently teaching. I've had the opportunity to speak to him, and he's actually teaching in the higher realms now. And I just smiled at him and I said, "Look at you." I said, "You just up here," and a lot of the beings in the cosmos know about him, but he's literally in the higher realms and he's teaching. So he's still teaching. But he's teaching other beings. That's the thing that tripped me out. I was like, so this is what we're doing now. I said, so you training folks in the galactic. You're training the ETs and stuff now. You're teaching the ETs about things. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, he really is doing that though. He's another ascended master. He's another ascended master.
Wow, amazing. So talk to me about as far as here in America, you know, we see all the craziness going on. Let's talk about, you know, the melanated man and woman in America. Do we come from a particular constellation that's different? from the rest of the world. Some people may think that, some people look at us here in America and they like, damn, why they catch so much hell over there? Why, it seems like, as far as we try to start a business, it gets sabotaged. Like the shootings that go on, it just seems like, and I know shit happen everywhere, but the world is watching us. The world imitates us. The world hates us and loves us at the same time. The world copies us, but at the same time disrespects us. So it's like a weird feeling being Black and living in this country. So is there anything that you could tell me that cosmically that we may not know of that'll wake us up in the Western Hemisphere?
The sun is currently waking you up right now in the Western Hemisphere. And I want to explain something to you guys right now. First of all, there's like 4 different suns that are currently present on planet Kai. There is a 5th one. Okay. There is a 5th one, but hasn't made itself known as of yet. But right now, the sun that America is seeing right now is Nemesis. This is the other side of Ra. Okay. Ra has made it very clear to me, because I do talk to him. He's made it very clear to me that Nemesis has been seen in different parts of the world, but he said that in the United States itself will receive the justice that it's supposed to receive. Everything that's happening in America right now is karmic, because there hasn't been any justice. When it comes to us and who we are as a people, I want you to understand. I said something to you. I literally dropped the dime on you when I said that when I'm looking at your karmic cycles, you have different higher aspects. So imagine you being a main vessel, and let's say you have about 7 or 8 different aspects, and those aspects are connected to you. And those aspects are different types of beings. Some aspects can be gods, some aspects can be ETs, some aspects can be different things. But you have access to this wealth of knowledge, but you're not communicating to these higher aspects because you don't know about them. If you was to tap into those higher aspects and you start getting that information and you start doing those upgrades, what do you think is going to happen? Who's going to stop you if you are fully activated? That is what they don't want to happen for us, because they know if we come together on the collective level, it is game over for them all the way across the board. All we have to do is understand that we are not separate from one another. We need to understand that we are part of each other. There is no such thing as separation. You are source, and source is you. You are one and the same. You are not separate. You're no different than the guy who went out here and killed 50 people. You're the same being. Okay? You're the same being. And it's ego to think that you're separated from that. That's all ego. I'm explaining things to you guys on a whole different level, and some people may not be ready for this kind of information, but I'm going to bring the real to you as it's supposed to be brought. And for those of you that are listening right now, I know you guys are feeling the tingling sensations over your body right now because my words activate. Some of you guys are getting quivers in your body because you're hearing truth when you're hearing truth. Those quivers that you're feeling, those chills that you're feeling, I'm currently activating every single person on this live right now that's listening right now. That's what I'm supposed to do. Okay? So I want you to understand that you have a power that lies within you that scares the shit out of them damn people. Until you realize who you really are and coming to the knowing, not belief. Belief means not to know in Hebrew. You don't believe nothing. You have to come into a space of knowing who you are. You have to come into a space of wanting to know who you are. You have to start getting on that journey to self-discovery. You have to. Once you start doing this and your consciousness starts expanding, you're going to start understanding what you've always had access to. After that, guess what? You don't need these systems out here because you'll have the ability to create your own systems. They don't want you to do that. They don't want you doing these things. They need you they need you to fight one another. They need you to tear each other down. They need you to be distracted with stuff that don't mean nothing. Okay. They need you to be fully distracted with